the great thing about this film is you have 7 main characters. And so you get so many different performances, but also trying to keep them all as stars. Like, yeah, you've got your obvious stars. I mean, Denzel and Chris Pratt and Ethan Hawke. But like Vincent D'Onofrio, huge guy with this really high-pitched voice, and you're like, what? I hope I'm not ruining that for anyone who hasn't seen it, but it was almost like a Little John sort of thing. And it was a choice he made on set. And having him come back to do ADR later, we kind of struck out the first time because he went a little too high. We didn't want to manipulate it back down. We wanted him to do it because it was so unique to the film. So we lucked out. We ended up on record day getting these great guns, and we're out at a gun range up by the 210 and the 118. It was a private range, and they let us shoot guns. I felt like a little kid. It was a very exciting day for all of us. We shot 22 channels. We had microphones everywhere. Surrounding, we had them up over here, up here, behind us. We had them absolutely everywhere. And this is just an example of that. We're like, you're done? And a lot of times we weren't with the actual gun. We'd be in the town with the people being shot at, and so we'd hear more of the whiz-bys. So we needed whiz-bys. And so we got a slingshot and shot whatever we could in front of the microphone. Washers, bolts, bullet casings. We were in there for probably a good hour just shooting stuff in the corner, and we really wish we had a broom afterwards, because that was a pain to clean up. Our loop group actors in the park, which again, the production company was on board until they had to deal with the insurance and workman's comp, and they were worried, and so we got our actors who showed up in costume. I'm not sure why, but I needed these guys to do a little yelling. And then we needed some free and clears to cut through the big battle.
We're outnumbered! Oh, they're gonna kill us all! They're gonna kill us all! They're gonna kill all of us! They're gonna kill us all! We're gonna kill the whole damn lot of us! Get down! Come on, they're gonna kill all of us!
And then after that temp mix, guess what happens? Changes. Lots of changes. That's one reel. That's just the stems. So we had that we decided let's not fix the stems. Let's fix the units and start over. We kept everything virtual all the way through. We mixed entirely in Pro Tools on the S6 console. And so that way, anything that happened on temp 1 that we liked, we kept it all the way through to the final, and it just kept getting refined. And so during our conforms, we just had to fix reverbs, fix EQs, make sure all the automation stayed together. This is definitely the densest session I've ever seen. And he's filming this as we're on the dub stage. So that's horses and guns, and each pre-dub group is a different flavor of sound. We mixed on the Cary Grant Theater, and it was the last show using the Harrison console as a desk for the S6. After our show, they tore out the Harrison and put in the S6. On this particular movie, being a Western, Foley is essential. I mean, you have the wind and then nothing else. Their footsteps, the leather, and you have limited surfaces. It's going to be either wood, dirt, or water, grass, gravel. I mean, so we interviewed everybody, all the A-list guys in town, and we wanted to see their stages and make sure that what they had available would work for us. And we went and we saw. I had been on stages that I had always dreamed of being on and wanting to go to. I'm like, oh, I really want to work with that person someday. And so we'd get over there and we'd see it, and they only have one dirt surface. I'm like, really? And then we'd get to another place and they'd have 6 or 7. And then they had 4 or 5 different wood surfaces within stepping distance. So the inside of the building wouldn't sound the same as the front porch. And you could continue the motion. And ultimately, it came down to personality. Who can I work with? Who is going to help me tell the story? And when something doesn't work, who can I call and say, hey, this isn't working, can you do a pickup? And I'm not going to get a lot of attitude. That's the hardest thing. We all take it so personally because we're pouring our hearts and souls into this. And when you're spending months, I spent 8 months on this movie, you're working so hard for it that sometimes that one cue that you think is great, the director hates. And you got to fix it. You got to come up with an alternative. But if you get pushback, it's a hard relationship to have. So we found a great guy who was in the video. You guys can find it on IMDb, but he was fantastic. He was like, what, that doesn't work? Okay, let's give it another shot.